In this episode, we talk about the giant sensation of inner relief that comes from realizing you're enough.
Relief.
I'm Sienna.
And I'm Toast.
We've been partners in life, love, and music since 2001, and we believe life is best lived as a love story. Your love story.
After all, to love well is to live well. For more, check out siennaandtoast.com. But for now, here's this episode. And welcome to it.
Toast, is it really a giant sensation?
You know, it can be. It can be. I think all of life, for me, all of life is a long journey towards that and feeling facets of that and, increments of it. But there's definitely a big difference between being in the rat race and being a rat in that race.
Oh, poor rats.
And being a rat who says, no.
I'm going to Rat Park.
That's right.
Yeah. You guys might not know about Rat Park, but Toast will share a little bit about Rat Park in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So we are going to just enjoy being together today, folks. Thanks for joining us for this episode. We appreciate you so much. I know we say that, but do we really mean it? We do.
We mean it as much as we can possibly mean it.
Because again, as long as people are listening, we will show up and we will do a podcast for you.
As long as
and
it
people
helps
are listening.
Somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're Oprah out there, but
we're not Oprah. I'm sorry.
We're not,
we're not
up there, but we're doing what we can.
But we're here.
And yeah,
that's what matters. We're here.
Each of us,
we're showing up.
Exactly. And that's what every single one of us, none of us does Oprah. But you don't have to be Oprah. You're
that's
not
the thing.
Supposed to be Oprah. You're supposed
Oprah's
to be
Oprah.
You.
We just need one Oprah. We need one you. And that's what matters. And I guess that's what this podcast is about, this episode.
Kind of.
But
reminder.
If you do enjoy the podcast, we would love to invite you to rate and review it on Apple Podcasts. And if you do, as a wonderful thank you and just gratitude for you as a listener, just email us, let us know, hey, I rated and reviewed the podcast, and we will send you a $10 off coupon code to use on our shop.
And you can email us at info@siennaandtoast.com.
We would love that.
And we'll probably do this, through December?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So as promised, what? Huh?
Oh, what is as promised?
In the previous episode, we said, we're going to share more about our date.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the geeky history folks, gather round. We are going to share with you the rest of our history museum experience that we had in Oregon City, Oregon. And in the previous episode, we shared about going to the Museum of the Oregon Territory. Well, the good folks there sent us over to another historic location in their fine city called the Stevens Crawford Heritage House. And we had a lot of fun going there too.
Mm-hmm. And this house was built in 1908, and it was a traditional, beautiful craftsman home.
It was a fancy craftsman. It was one of, I think it was...
Well, it's not fancy like the, what was the other house, the old house we went to? Well, that was a mansion.
This
was not a mansion.
Yeah, this was not a mansion. This was built during the Edwardian era, which followed the Victorian era.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's something I learned.
So it wasn't fancy compared to.
Yeah, that's something I learned.
Yeah. But it was a beautiful craftsman home. And if you've spent any time in Portland, one of the things that we noticed ourselves saying, as well as when people have visited us, is, wow, look at the homes. Because it's the old craftsman homes that just bring the character to Portland alive, I think. These beautiful homes with so much history. So we got to spend a little bit of time in one, the Stevens Crawford Heritage House. And it was just amazing. I mean, you walk in, everything, all the panels are beautiful, dark hardwood. I'm sure they mentioned the kind of wood, but I don't remember what they said.
I'm not a wood person, so I don't remember that.
But beautiful. They had these curving staircases from the kitchen up to the bedrooms, and then also one at the entryway up to the bedrooms. So the house was actually 4 floors with a full basement, the main floor, the second floor with all the bedrooms, and then a top floor, which is the attic,
which was closed to the public, so we don't know what's going on there.
Yes.
But there were a lot of pocket doors, the kinds of doors that slide out of the wall. And apparently this house was built during a time where electricity was just brand new.
Yes.
So electric lights were in the house, and that was really fancy at that time. Yeah, it was state of the art, But the electrical grid was not reliable. So a lot of the electric lights that they had in this house also had a gas powered option.
That was so neat.
So that was really neat. Yeah. There was on the chandeliers, for instance, or on the light fixture, there was a little twisty knob that would, I guess, release the gas in case the electricity went out.
Yeah.
What was also kind of neat was seeing like the light fixtures, or the on and off lights and stuff like that, and recognizing them from, for instance, you like lights in your grandma's house.
Oh yeah, the push button lights.
Yeah. Or even like the glass. I don't remember specifically seeing a glass doorknob there.
Oh yeah,
but
they had glass doorknobs.
Okay. The doorknobs. Something that I was really fascinated with was the audio equipment that they had in the house. Yes. They had examples of. Oh, here, let me play it.
Yeah, that was so well.
They had a Victrola, which was one of the first phonographs, and this is what it sounded like. Hopefully you can hear that. Anyways, I have a video of it. Maybe I'll post that and put it in the blog.
Yeah, that was so neat. And what was also amazing is that in the dining room, they had a beautiful music box. Now, it's not like your music box with the ballerina and you put your jewelry in. This is a giant, like, tabletop music box.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be a children's toy.
No.
This was meant to be like a fancy for the adults. Like,
it was so beautiful.
Listen to the music kind of thing.
And not only was it so beautiful, is when they turned it on, which we were so thrilled that they were going to do for us. We didn't know that. They turned it on. The sound quality, like, it was just so, it was the way it was emanating from that thing.
It was really
just
loud.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you could have a dinner party and play this thing all night long. Yeah.
Yep.
I loved it.
It was really neat to see how it correlated with today's MIDI, the musical instrument digital interface. Like how.
Yeah, I don't think people know that, Toast.
Certain digital triggers can correspond to any kind of musical sound. That's basically how the music box worked. So anyway.
That's for music
geeking
geeks.
out. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything else from the Stevens Crawford Heritage House?
Okay, so the people, the husband and wife, what were their names? Mary and
Crawford?
Well,
okay, so
Harley
here we go.
Stevens and Mary Elizabeth. That was his wife.
Oh, okay.
So they had 2 sons and a daughter named Murdy. And Murdy was was the sole surviving person, right, in their lineage, I guess.
Okay.
She lived her whole life in this house, actually. Mm-hmm. And we found that she was also an artist. And what I really loved is that Murdy seemed to be quite organized. She had all of her recipe cards, all of her handwritten recipe cards, organized by if it was an appetizer, if it was a beef dish, a fish dish, a, chicken dish, or fowl. I think it was like pheasant and fowl. I think it was called that. Really? Breads and biscuits, like all of that filed away in a beautiful room in the house.
Yeah.
And the room was pretty small, but this little room was where you would do most of the prep for cooking. So you don't actually cook in that room, but that's where I could envision Murdy like kneading the dough or like rolling it out on the wood surfaces there, and then transferring it and bringing it out to the main kitchen and then cooking everything there.
Yeah.
But you would do all your chopping, all your prep work in this little room. Yeah. Which I thought was so neat.
That is, yeah, it was pretty neat because you had the sense, I did anyways, you still had the sense of cooking and food prep being a pretty industrial type of activity.
Yeah.
Because the stove in there was like, it felt like a factory kind of thing. It was bulky, Yeah. And all these pipes
kinds of things
and everything. Yeah. Pipes and chains to open up there was like it sounds morbid, but there was like a guillotine type of thing, right? Not to actually chop stuff, but to open up place to reveal where the firewood was to fuel your stove. And anyways.
And what was totally neat too, that I loved is that where the dining room, so imagine a dining table, a long dining table and chairs around it. And then the music box that we told you about way in the far corner. But on one end of that dining room, there was sort of like a built-in like type hutch bar that had cabinets where you would put maybe beautiful plates and things like that. But what people didn't know is that the drawers facing the dining room, when you pushed them, so instead of pulling them out, you pushed them, they would open up in that little room where prep was happening. So a lot of times they said, instead of walking around from the prep room to the dining room, they would just fill the drawers with like the hot biscuits. And being on the dining end side, you would just open the drawer and there are your hot biscuits. So I love that.
That is ingenious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drawers that serve two different rooms, right? One on each side of that.
I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
But yet, when they were explaining that to us, I also thought, but the room was right there. It was so close. Like it was just right there.
Right. I mean, it is right there. Yeah.
Like, 3 steps away from the dining or whatever it was.
Well, you could have.
I thought that was really neat.
I thought the cool thing was the dishes. Because, if you're washing and drying the dishes, you can wash them and put them away because that's where the cleaning happened. And then when you're ready to use them and put them on the
you just
table,
open the drawer.
Yeah, you open the drawer from the other side. That was what I understood. Anyways, yeah, you can see what history geeks we are. Who else is a history geek? Our listeners, we must have you know what? I know for a fact we have some
history geeks.
We have some real geeks.
We have
in
a
the
lot
podcast
of geek listeners.
because otherwise they wouldn't listen. They'd be like, "Oh no, I'm too cool for this stuff," and then they would turn us off. But if you're a geek, then you keep listening, and then
they wouldn't turn us off. We would turn them off.
Oh yeah,
the cool people.
It would go
or
both ways. Yeah, it would go both ways.
Who's cool today? No one's cool, actually. What is cool? Getting irritated.
Okay, it's time to move on.
It's the pressure to be cool, which is why we're doing this topic in a way, in an arm's length way. But you know who was cool, actually, when I think about cool people?
Elvis.
Murdy
Crawford.
Murdy was cool. So what we didn't mention is that she lived a very long life, and she was actually she outlived a lot of her friends. And so they often willed and gave to her their belongings. And so Murdy, super cool Murdy, she ended up with so much stuff from her friends, beautiful belongings and gowns and suitcases and pictures and fabrics and blankets. She ended up with so many things. She used her entire basement for all of her friends' belongings.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Until the basement was no longer enough.
Oh my gosh.
And what ended up happening is Super Cool Murdy built a warehouse of sorts across the street from her home and stored all the more belongings there at the warehouse across. And today, that warehouse is now the home of Wally's Music.
You would never know.
I think that's so cool.
It's pretty interesting.
Can you imagine the ghosts in Wally's Music?
I guess I could.
Right? If people owned all those things and they're all mixed up in one place.
So, well, we don't know the story of what happened with that warehouse, how it changed hands, but obviously now it's Wally's Music. But the house itself was left to the Clackamas County Historical Society when she died. So I would think that all of the belongings in that warehouse was also left.
Yeah, in fact, they shared with us the who are those, the museum tour people?
Their names?
No, what were they? What is a museum
of the Oregon
person called?
Docent?
Yes. What would they be called out there?
I guess
so, in a casual way, right? It was a very casual tour.
Yeah.
But they shared with us that what they're doing is they're trying to catalog all of those belongings.
Oh my gosh.
To then showcase the beautiful clothing or just certain pieces. But what I thought was totally interesting is that the women there shared that what's a bit confusing for them as they go through all of the stuff that Murdy left behind is they don't know what was Murdy's and what belonged to her friends. Mm-hmm, so they really can't do something, as a tribute to Murdy because they don't know.
Yeah. It's just examples of that life during that era.
Yes. Right. I love that. I can't wait. I would love to see the stuff.
There is something about, I guess that's the neat thing about history is I feel there is a spiritual component to the experience of learning about and connecting with your past. Mm-hmm. Just as a human being, just humanity's past, right? I mean, we don't have any blood relation to Murdy, but
I love Murdy.
But just seeing humanity's past. Yeah.
You just appreciate.
And that's the spiritual component. A moment of silence.
I was like, that was kind of a long silence there, Toast.
Yeah. It's okay.
But you appreciate like Murdy's, what you would imagine Murdy's life to be like. And yet, so you feel grateful, but you also feel in a way, I don't know if nostalgic is the right word because we never really experienced that ourselves, but it's like wishing for what felt like in a lot of ways a simpler time, wishing for that simplicity.
I see.
And not, and being able to having the time to see your friends and taking the breathers that we are sharing in this episode, taking those breathers, making love meals for people, having people over, playing the music box, and enjoying company like that. Mm-hmm. Probably having your own chickens. I don't know if she had chickens, but you know what I mean? Like
making your own applesauce.
Because you're making your food, like back then you made your food, like you made it. It was the closest to nature, than
closer,
ever, right?
Yeah, like closer than today. Yeah.
way closer than today.
Yeah.
So you're actually making the food, making it with love, hopefully, eating, and talking, and just like, it just felt simpler.
Okay. And with
Except
that,
for when you have to like build a fire, right?
that's less simple than flicking a Bic.
What is
Using a lighter, the Bic lighter. Flick your Bic. Isn't that their slogan?
If that's their slogan, they need to do it again.
Okay.
All right.
It rhymes with too many things.
Okay, you know what? It's 20, we talked about Murdy for 20 minutes.
Yep.
This was not the Murdy episode, really.
Now it is.
Okay, so what, Toast?
Okay.
Let's get on with it.
Let's turn the page. Let's turn the page and let's just talk more about, being enough. And we actually have talked about being enough when we're talking about simpler times and all that stuff. We decided, hey, let's do this topic in the middle of the holiday crazy rush. That can happen during this time of year. Not saying that it always happens, but we just wanted to provide a kind of just chill out, hang out time. And give voice to a point of view that you don't hear often out there in media land. Because out there in media land, it's either bad news, right? If you keep up with the news, alarming things and distressing things and things that are, or even social media, like social media tries to get you kind of riled up, because that's what increases engagement in the posts, right? Is to get you riled up about it, angry or indignant, or you comment on it or point fingers. There's that. And then there's also the advertisements that, try to convince you that you're lacking something. You're lacking something. You really need to get this thing because you're lacking it. And it's like, we wanted to have another voice, be another voice that says,
well, wait, and also
you're
there's
enough. Just relax.
There's a third one.
Oh, okay.
And the third one we addressed in a recent podcast episode.
Okay.
But the third one is painting the picture perfect scene.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Just
that's right.
by default makes you feel,
implies that you're lacking this perfection.
Lacking it, or that what is being shown is
how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Or that, yeah.
So you feel good after you watch it until you don't.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It depends on how you process it, I think. Because I like the warm fuzzy. I like seeing the nice picture-perfect decorations that look great on screen. But if you actually walked into a home with that, it'd be kind of alarming.
Oh, I would love it.
If you have garland over every single doorway. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay.
I would love that.
So we're getting off the topic a little bit. You are enough. I shared with Sienna before we pressed record on this, because before we press record, we talk a little bit about the topic.
Like, okay,
right?
what's the main thing we want?
Yeah, we do a little
share.
huddle. And I shared for myself how I definitely feel like, I'm sure all of us feel, I feel chased by that black dog of, oh, what did you get done? What have you done with your life? Have you achieved, everything that you thought you would? Like you gotta do more. Sometimes it can feel like the waves of the ocean trying to cover you and trying to drown you in that feeling of not being enough, not having done enough, not having accomplished enough. Like you thought you would have accomplished more by this time in your life, maybe. You know, that feeling of like,
What great examples you just gave.
Well, I'm being very
Just
vague.
that imagery. No, the imagery of the water. I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe. And then the dog, I'm like, oh, tired because the dog's chasing me.
But that's the feel, that's the feeling. And I think we live in a culture that is all too happy to exploit that for profit, But what I feel is my lifeline, and what I feel keeps those things at bay and keeps my head above the water and is just like, you know what, I'm okay, is to turn inward and look outward at the same time. And by that, I mean, for example, simply walking back to the house after checking the mailbox, right? So I walk out to the mailbox, check the mail, and walking back to the house. And I just take that minute to drink in the fact that there's nothing above my head except the sky, this endless sky. And I can look out as far as my eye can see to the tree line. And it's an incredible sunset. Or maybe a not so incredible sunset. But look at this sky. It's endless. And I am a part of it. I am a living organism that is a part of this world that exists. And just simply turning my attention towards that, it's outward, but it's an inward experience.
Yeah.
That delivers to me a sensation of gratitude, satisfaction, fulfillment, wonder, and awe. And for me, that is a piece of success. And the opposite, I think, is in the sensation of nothing is enough. Like I'm not satisfied with 7 houses. I need to get more houses. Or I need to get more cars, or I need to buy another sports team, or whatever it is, or another relationship. I need to date another person, or I need to...
I don't think that one.
I need to eat, or I need to eat another, I need to eat another pie, or whatever it is. Whatever kinds of addictions that pull at us. The obsession with the next thing that I can get, even if it might be an experience, it's like, I need to go on my next trip. And that sensation of frenetic, the drive, the compulsion that you can't, that takes over you. Like you drown in it. It's like your life is not your own anymore. It's like you're being driven, you're being whipped and chased into this sensation of needing more, needing the next, feeling inadequate, or feeling like you can't just stop and feel a satisfaction with, I have enough. This is enough. You know what I mean?
And I am enough.
Yeah.
I have enough. I am enough. And I think the people that you're illustrating right now, I think sometimes for that kind of a person, I think they are missing the thing that you're talking about, the experience you're talking about, that's inward but out, right? They're missing that connection. And because of the lack of that connection, they are just consistently trying to search for that feeling through these things. You know what I mean? Not having that connection is very unsettling, right?
Yeah.
Yet you don't know that that's what you're lacking, that is a lack. That is how you can lack, is if you're not connected in that way that you just explained.
Okay. Oh, like a
Walking
genuine,
back,
it's a genuine lack.
That's a lack if you're
Yeah.
not taking that moment to just, to acknowledge that in those moments, you fill up in ways that you can forget, you know? And I think people who don't take the time to do that, myself included, you sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you don't have that and you are lacking that, then you start looking for other ways to feel good.
Yes.
But it's very surface. It's
Right.
a very surface way, and it's so quick. It's not true.
It's never going to make you feel good enough.
It's never. And so kind of like what, so you said walking back from the mailbox, right?
Right.
For me, I gotta say, and I'm always, it's so crazy because I've had so many mornings like this, but it's always a beautiful surprise to me.
Okay.
And it's a super early morning experience. Maybe it's like 5 a.m. where I'm going to give them the visual. I'm in my favoriteest ever leopard robe. So I have my robe, and I have Bear in his harness, and I'm outside with Bear, and it's still
Bear is our cat, by the way.
It's still dark outside, but we walk past our front door a little bit out, right by the stairs, and when I look up, that moment that I look up, well, actually, the first thing when I get out there, it's the air. Because where Toast and I live now, the air is just feels so clean and crisp where we are. There's not a lot of traffic. You don't hear cars, nothing. So that's the first thing where I feel like I'm really communing with nature. I'm just breathing in this amazing air. Then I look up, and then I'm like, oh my God, I see the stars, and that I'm always just pleasantly surprised by how much that just delights me.
Wow.
And fulfills me.
Wow.
And I'm just looking, and the first thing I always think of is we are that. You know, we are that. We are stars. We are, we are that. That's me. That's you. That's...
Yeah, and let me
Those
just
stars.
sidebar. She means that literally, because
Yes.
the elements that are found in living organisms can only be made in a star.
Yes.
So we literally
Our stars.
came from things that were stars
Yes.
in the past.
So I love that. And we've had such clear, beautiful mornings that the sky is like just that super like blue black richness, and all the stars are just glittering. And I think that's so amazing. And in those moments, it just feels like nothing else matters. And that sounds so corny, but it feels like that.
You have to.
It's
yeah.
It's like in that moment, I feel like I know my place in the universe. It's like, okay. And all that other stuff that I worry about, like, oh my God, this present's not enough. I need to get another present for this person. Oh my God, I need to make sure this person knows how I feel. So I have to do it in a certain way, and I have to make sure I do this. Oh my God, if we're going to have a Christmas party, we need to have the decorations all just right. Like, oh, that stresses me out.
Yeah, that's just making drama compared to everything else. Right? Yeah.
But that's my favorite thing. Stars in the sky.
It's very cool.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Just
Love it.
the sky. This right there, right? Like walking back from the mailbox, the sky. Going out in the before dawn is the sky. And what I love is that the sky is always, well, unless you're underground. The sky is pretty accessible. You know, it's not like you need to like somehow get yourself to a nature preserve. It's like, look up. Yeah. And I think what I find helpful about the power of taking those what would we call them?
I have no clue what you're saying, so I can't help you.
Well, just those moments. I mean, and they're just literally a moment. Like it can be 10 seconds, right? Just, I mean, going outside of the house to dump some cat poop into the trash can. Sometimes sometimes that's when I
that's
look
your
up,
moment.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm looking up.
Yeah.
But taking those moments in a conscious way to just get your mind off of, again, the black dog and the wave that's coming to get you, you know, to remove yourself from the matrix. Mm-hmm. I think there's power in that because it disrupts the pattern.
Yeah.
Right? There can be an energy there can be an energy pattern of the rat race of striving, right? And driving yourself and driving other people to produce and to meet deadlines and to meet quotas
That's like our ook song
and all that
that we've yet to record.
and all that kind of stuff. There can be that momentum that again, our entire society pretty much just rolls along with, no questions asked. The message is like all about that. It's like strive and drive and be in the rat race, man, because the cool kids, you want to be the cool kids. You want to be a winner. You want to be a winner. You want to be a go-getter, right? You want to be a mover and a shaker. You want to be in the top 10. You want to be in the top 100. You want to be in the top 500. Ooh, that's where the
Oh my God, that's so stressing.
That's where the
right
status and the payoff and the accolades, and that's where the approval comes from. So you got to get yourself there. All of that, I think, is nullified, or you break the momentum of that messaging within your own head. You break the momentum of it, just like calling a timeout during a basketball game, right? You break the momentum, break the pattern by these sky moments. Just like, nope, and just remove yourself. Be like, I'm not playing that game.
And I think
I don't play that.
What happens too is like after a sky moment, I think that the sky moments actually help you to recalibrate. So it's like you can be on that rat race and then having a sky moment, like you're recalibrated. And it's almost like when you go back to what you were doing, you can come back to it with a different kind of presence. Yeah. In that, so there's nothing wrong with achieving. There's nothing wrong with having a long to-do list, but it's how you bring yourself to it. And if you're going to let it rule you, or you're going to just be there and you're going to know everything has its place and time. And I think that's one of the beauties of that. Sky moments.
I agree.
I love that.
I think what you're talking about is the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law, which is one of my favorite things, because you can be doing the same activity, right? You can be driving to some place and it looks the same from just a purely visible standpoint, from a physical standpoint. You're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it in the spirit of rush and stress and pressure and frantic and worry and anxiety, oh my God, that's one thing. But if you're doing it in a spirit of just being grounded and being grateful and recognizing, wow, you get to be a human in this time and place, and you get to impact other humans around you for future generations to come. That's a whole nother place.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. You can be doing the same thing, but with a different spirit. Okay. So that was our hangout time, huh? Our hangout time around the podcast campfire.
Just relaxing. Talking about sky moments, which I love, by the way, sky moments. And I guess if anything, we would leave you with just inviting you to think about your day and your daily routines and think, are there times you can incorporate some sky moments into your everyday routine so that they become, great moments of recalibration, appreciation, enoughness?
Feeling the stardust of yourself.
I like
Enjoy that.
Feel the stardust of yourself. I love
A stardust Christmas.
Snowflakes and stardust.
That's a good one. Snowflakes and stardust. Starflakes. Starflakes and snow dust. Okay.
A stardust holiday.
Hallmark, come and get us. Come on.
Lifetime, actually. Lifetime has been pretty progressive with with their Hallmark-esque movies. They've really stepped it up in terms of what they were starting to deliver in terms of, because so Hallmark came out with all their Christmas movies, and Lifetime says, oh, we're going to copy you. And then they started copying Hallmark, and then it wasn't that good. But my brother, who is also a lover of Hallmark movies, said, hey, watch Lifetime. So I did, and Lifetime really has stepped up, and I believe that they will be the first network.
Oh, a prediction. Here we go. Here comes a prediction. You heard it here.
To have a gay couple as the main characters.
I'm waiting for it.
The lead acting roles will be gay couples. So the love story will be the gay couple.
Okay.
Instead of, which I still love Lifetime for this, which is the gay brother of the main character looking for love. The main character is looking for love. And it's his gay brother who has a beautiful husband. Lifetime showed that recently.
Thank you, Lifetime.
Yes. And they're also casting all kinds of different types of ethnicities, and they're being inclusive in
they're reflecting that real America,
real life. Yes, real life. So
closer
to real life. Yeah, closer to real life. A real life Christmas.
Oh my gosh, that should be an SNL skit. A real life Christmas. And then it can be, the family strife and all that. That'd be hilarious. Oh my God. So funny.
All right. Anyways. Okay. So thank you for listening, for sticking with us on this casual chat on Star Moments. We hope you enjoy.
Sky Moments.
Oh,
same thing.
Star Moments too, right?
Star moments,
I guess.
And sky moments and sun and moon moments. Okay. Let's have some meteoric
snow
moments
and rain moments.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Done.
Okay.
All right.
Hope you're having a great holiday season. Stay safe. Be safe out there. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And don't forget, for the month of December, rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Send us an email to let us know you did it. Our email is info@siennaandtoast.com, and we would love to send you a $10 off coupon code, good for our shop at siennaandtoast.com/shop. Okay. Until next time.
Thank you. This is Sienna.
And this is Toast, inviting you to come and live your love story.